Hey, what's going on, guys? Sinister Forest here. Welcome back to the channel. A few days ago, actually on opening day, me and my fiance went to go see the much anticipated movie, The Black Phone. Just a quick reminder, you guys, there are going to be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you'd like to check that out before this video, go for it. But spoilers are ahead. I kind of want to break down the premise of the movie before I start giving my own feedback for the movie. Just kind of give you guys a little bit more of a sense of what the movie was about. So the movie kind of introduces a sinister character called the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke. And basically the main key to this character is, well, he abducts children. He's the Grabber. When he abducts them, he takes them back to his soundproof basement where he plays a game that he invented called Naughty Boy. Now, the premise of this game is that if you try and escape, which he leaves you kind of like a small opening to escape, if you try, he kills you. So either way, it's pretty much a lose-lose situation. So this kind of sets up our main male lead known as Finney. He's a little kid, he gets abducted, taken to this basement. Now this basement, the only thing that's really in there is like the basics. There's like a mattress for him to sleep on, there is a toilet, and then there is a mysterious black phone hanging on the wall. And it seems entirely inoperable, especially since the cord has been severed. But for Finney, it somehow rings. On the other end of the line, there seems to be the disembodied voices of the Grabber's past victims, the past kids, including Finney's friend Robin that had been abducted a couple days to weeks prior to Finney's abduction. With each character making their eerie appearance, they give Finney a piece of information to assist with his getaway so he doesn't end up meeting the same gruesome fate. The first victim tells Finney about a hole in the wall that he was previously digging. Another one tells him about a cable that he hid along the crack of the wall. And the other one kind of told him where to bash in the wall to get access to the freezer on the other end of the wall. So maybe he can escape that way. Finney's friend Robin, that had been abducted just a little bit before him, also was telling him, you gotta fight for yourself. You know, no one's gonna get out of here no one's gonna help you get out of here. You gotta get out of here by yourself. And the last one also gave him the bike lock combination that the Grabber puts on the front door so that they can't escape. So he kind of figures out all these things. He tries digging a hole, thinking that it'll lead somewhere, but the more and more he digs, he maybe realizes possibly he can use it for a trap. The cable that was hidden on the wall, he tries to swing it around and use it to pull himself up on the window, which all he does is end up knocking down the metal piece that's over the window. And then with the freezer, he bashes in the wall and he gains access to the freezer, but it's locked from the other side. Or it's one of the ones where you have to actually pull the handle, so he can't escape that way no matter how much he tries. He used the bike combination, and he actually did manage to escape before the Grabber caught him once more. As the movie was coming to an end, the Grabber actually kills his own brother, who's like a comic relief of the movie. He's like a cracked out weirdo staying with him, and he's like trying to investigate the missing kids case, and he doesn't realize that the entire time they were in his own basement because of his brother. In the end, it comes down to Finney just using all of the clues that he has, and he kind of sets up like a small booby trap, if you will, and he takes Robin's advice and completely pummels the Grabber because he uses a cable, so he trips, he falls into the hole, the metal piece from the window like kind of snaps his leg, and then he sits there and beats the crap out of him with that phone, which is an amazing scene of redemption. After beating him almost to death, he uses the cord of the black phone to kind of strangle him in a sense, and then he puts the black phone to the Grabber's ear so that the past victims can like haunt and terrorize him one more time, and that's how he dies. Now, in order to escape the basement, the Grabber chained his Cujo-like dog by the door so Finney couldn't escape. So smart Finney goes over to the freezer he discovered earlier in the movie, grabs a piece of meat, throws it out of the way, and out he goes. So while this was all happening, Finney's sister Gwen seems to have premonitions about his whereabouts via her dreams. Now, they weren't exactly accurate. Her dreams led her to tell the police where to find the bodies of the previous victims, but didn't exactly pinpoint where Finney was. So essentially what had happened is that the Grabber owned two houses. He tortured them in one, buried them in the other. So now that you guys have a little bit of an idea of what the movie is about, I just want to say first and foremost that this movie strikes a nerve in my opinion, because kidnappings and ransoms, they happen a lot, unfortunately, and it is a very serious issue. And I feel like making a movie about that kind of thing, especially now in 2022 where things just, they never seemed possible before. Now everything seems possible when it comes to bad things that can happen. Not to mention a scary movie where not even the children are safe is bound to be a pretty graphic movie. The real life issue of kidnapping cleverly mixed with the paranormal side of things made this macabre movie a unique one, to say at least. While the story of this movie was very, very fantastic and well told, I feel like the beginning of it was slightly rushed or a little bit more on the fast-paced side. The middle of the movie is where most of that action took place, and then the end was more like a bittersweet moment. They found Finney, they discovered the dead bodies, so they weren't missing anymore, but they also couldn't go back home to their families. The suspenseful buildup that the movie had to reach that big finish where Finney is kind of getting that redemption and getting a little bit more payback, getting his revenge, if you will, is just phenomenal. As far as the horror elements of the movie goes, it did have a couple of jump scares, but I'm not entirely sure they were intended to be jump scares. All we saw was the bodies or the characters of the disembodied voices Finney was hearing. So they kind of made like a very quick, sudden appearance and just kind of scared the audience. We had a couple people scream when we went to go see it, which was hilarious. But yeah, the use of jump scares were clever instead of kind of cheesy and thrown in there. The music varied from a slight suspense, like melancholy kind of sound, to when the action-y parts were happening, like that rapid, like fast, like suspenseful, like on the edge of your seat kind of a music. Just in case you guys don't remember the music because you were too sucked into the story, I will post a description to the full soundtrack below. What I mean when I say that it gives you, or keeps you on the edge of your seat, is like it gives you that false sense of hope for that kid, because you're watching this happen and it just seems like there is nothing you can do to help poor Finney, no matter how much you want to try. And then when Gwen kind of tells them, the cops, the house to go to, and they go in there and they don't find Finney, it's just like such a huge heart-sinking moment. And it does keep you in that story that way. The acting, especially from the kids that were in the movie, was insane. So they had so many emotions being thrown around in this movie, some that we feel sometimes, like the hopelessness, anger, scared, panicky, and then finally the relief once he escapes. But every emotion that was being expressed in the movies, we felt as viewers. Altogether, I gave this movie an 8.5 out of 10 with its unsettling storyline, powerful acting, and the scenes of the movie. However, the stop and flow kind of emotion for the movie did kind of break it down for me a little bit more. I did kind of want a little bit more information or a backstory on the grabber, about the grabber's previous victims. We kind of only saw a little bit about them through visions or dreams or just kind of flashbacks, if you will. I felt like Gwen's visions weren't really anything more than like comical relief, if you will. I feel like when she started cussing out Jesus and stuff like that because he wasn't there for her or anything like that was really, really hilarious. But they didn't really necessarily need to be in the movie. In my opinion, all she really did was, I mean, it kind of helped show us the flashbacks of who the kids were through her dreams, but it showed where the dead bodies were, not where Finney was. So I feel like, you know, if Finney saw like a piece of paper saying like the dead bodies are buried here, like he would have been able to tell the cops, look across the street. And it would have given us the exact same result, just maybe not as clever. Still, I cannot wait for this movie to come out on DVD so I can add it to the Sinister collection. Let me know what you guys think of the movie. If you guys disagree or agree with my statements in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are not already, and hit that notification bell so you can see when I post new videos. I'm trying to do that every single week for you guys. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys for the next one.